Episode is brought to you by GameFound. Create a free pledge manager for your project.
Hey everybody, I'm Tom Basil.
I'm Z Garcia. Welcome.
Welcome to the first Crowdsurfing of 2020 and possibly the worst Crowdsurfing of 2020.
You're sure because of the time of the year. Yeah, it's a slow time generally on Kickstarter right now. So our selection here will be minute though diverse. We'll say that.
That's true. There's a huge. Well, there's two things. First of all, I did not realize until like 2 days ago when we launched our own Kickstarter, dicetowerkickstarter.com, but I didn't realize that not every board game is in the board game, tabletop game category. Some are under just games.
Right, right.
So for the past year, I've only been searching under the tabletop category. So sometimes when people said, you missed this, I was like, I don't think I missed it. Perhaps it wasn't under tabletop category.
It's possible it was somewhere we didn't see it.
So now in 2020, I'll be checking under both categories.
All right, good. Good.
Secondly, there are huge Kickstarters that are launching next week. One of those is Return to Dark Tower, and we're going to be playing that live on our channel next Tuesday morning when that goes up.
Very cool.
Justin Jacobson from Restoration Games is going to come in and teach us how to play it. So
I'm excited.
You haven't played it at all, right?
I haven't played the original. I really have barely looked at this new one. I know they've had something to show at a few different conventions. I really haven't seen it that closely, so.
All right, so that's that sort of thing going on. Well, there, like I said, not a lot of projects, so let's just jump right into them.
All right, let's take a look at some projects. Ooh. All right. What do we got, baby? Yeah. Ruins of the Lorne Keep card game. For 2 to 3 players.
This is actually a
I like
lower
that front.
a lower,
I like the.
I was gonna say I really like that.
I like this, and then as soon as I got here, I was like, "Oh, hold on, is this an old RPG book kind of vibe?" And then I realized it's a really tiny thing. It's 18 cards.
Yeah, but there isn't many of those these days, right?
No, that's true. That's true. It's a tiny thing. It's very simple. It's clearly from, I'm assuming, a single person, maybe a couple of people working together. So it's a tiny thing. What's going on?
I'm keeping my head in the
Oh, because you're too tall.
My eyes! Sorry.
And yeah, then I got farther down, or further down, I should say, and I read the rules, which are right here. This is the entirety of the rules. And it's basically memory with dice checks. So this isn't quite for me.
Yeah, okay.
This isn't quite for me, but you know what? Kickstarter is for this kind of thing. If they're finding an audience, that's great. They're being very transparent. The rules are up there. You can read the rules pretty much in their entirety, so you know what you're getting. Cool. If you like it, you can back it. That's great. But yeah, I don't think this is quite for me. It's a Game Crafter game there as well.
Yeah, I wonder if he's publishing it with Game Crafter. If so, then why Kickstart it and not just do Game Crafter straight?
I don't know. Yeah.
Because you got to pay Kickstarter and Game Crafter then.
That's true, right? I mean, I guess it's. I suppose if you were publishing it from any publisher, any manufacturer, you'd pay them. You know what I mean? If you're getting this made from Panda, they
I understand
pay them
that,
also,
but Game Crafter is not the cheapest way to publish a game. It's if you're doing small print runs. Well, who knows? All right, let's get to some bigger games here. Or the next one's not that much bigger.
Well, the next one, which is Liftoff Expanded Deluxe Edition, you have played, because I know they are quoting you, and this has 11,000 out of their goal, which is 7,500. So they've crossed that line.
And that is why it's my pick of the week. So
it's your pick of the week because you have played
I did like the game. It's a silly little game. It's for families, right?
And they're quoting you.
I like the whimsical feel of this game. If you go back up, or if you look at the board, I don't know where the board is on here.
Yeah, it's right there.
You know, you're trying to get off this planet, and some of the places might be closed down, and you get a rocket ship and go off. The theme is silly and funny, and I liked it. This was one of the first games that I played, I think, from Pencil First, maybe?
Right, yeah. You know, this is one I never did play. I never played the original. I wanted to. I remember when it came out, it looked cool. I like the neat concept, the neat art style, but I never did play this one. It got by me. So hopefully.
Yeah, I like their art style a lot, and it looks like they have these shards, so you build a planet, and each one is a little bit different. There's different ways to do different things.
Yeah.
So it's actually, you know, sometimes where the theme's pasted on, there's not really a pasted on theme here. This is straight up get off the planet. It makes sense how each way does it.
They have a new solo play mode, and of course the upgrade kit if you happen to have the original one. So yeah, this looks good. This is a good pick, I think.
Yeah, I'm looking. Well, I mean, again, it's not a very big week, right? But I like this game. This is one I would recommend. Again, I guess my quote said if there was a family I was buying a gift from, and I still feel that way. This is a pretty strong game in that line.
Nice. All right, next up is something I was initially confused by, Tom, and it looks like they just funded, actually.
Hooray!
Very good. This is a deck of cards.
We might start showing one of these a week, because I think like 10 come out a week, right?
Oh, tons, yeah. And I myself, I'm a card collector. I enjoy getting decks of cards, collecting them. And this is nice. There's a couple of things about it I don't like as a card collector, but there are a couple of things I do like.
I love the art a lot.
The art is very nice. It's nice. I like that the cards are white-edged. And that's a big one for me, one of those things that for me works. I like the style. I like that everything in it is custom. So all the pips are custom, the lettering and numbers, the index is custom. And so all the number cards, like the 9, will also be a custom card. There are things I don't like. It's a one-way back. So that means if you rotate a single card in the deck, it stands out, as you see there. So right there.
That bugs you?
Yeah, I like two-way backs. And then also the face cards are one-way face cards. Whereas, again, I like them when they are two-way face cards.
So you don't have to be constantly flipping things.
Right. They work either way. Doesn't stand out. Those are personal preferences. I know a lot of card collectors and players like the two-way backs as well. But I think the artwork, the style is very nice. And these jokers, I think it was, with the... There was a dragon and a, what was it? They're just gorgeous. Really nice artwork. See if I find them here. Oh, the tiger. That tiger illustration is amazing. What?
I feel like I'm backwards, but all right.
Okay.
Keep going.
Next up, Warp's Edge, a solo game. And this one is funded twice over at this point, just about.
Well, Scott Alms, so that's very popular. This is interesting because it's a Renegade game.
Yeah, it's the Solo Hero series. They've got, if I'm not mistaken, one before this one. This would be the second one in the series. I have played the original one. I didn't really enjoy it that much.
Was it also Scott Alms?
It was not. That was from Kane Klanko.
Okay.
And this one looks like there's more to it. This looks like a bigger game than the original one I played. And I hope it is, because it's $50. This is, let me see.
No, it's 35.
Okay, it's 35. Oh, it's 50 for everything. That's what it was.
I'll tell you what, I wonder
So
if it's being
35,
Kickstarted
but then if
because...
you want the extra stuff, I know there's a $50 pledge. The all-in.
Oh, I see. It comes with the expansion.
Yeah, it gets you an expansion. All right.
The thing is, I wonder if solo games are a hard store sell. Like,
Which is probably why it's
you
being
go to the store, you're
Kickstarted.
like, I'm looking for a game for my wife. Well, here's a solo game.
Right.
Oh, I'm looking for a game for my son. Oh, here's a solo game. I don't. Maybe it's a harder sell, and maybe that's why it's better off Kickstarter. Because I know a lot of people play solo games, but I wonder if
Not you. You're not a solo gamer, though.
I am not. This one does look interesting though for other people.
I like the look of it. I don't really know anything about it, but I like sci-fi. I like the look of it. I'm hoping it's engaging, but I don't really. It didn't necessarily captivate me. Not my pick of the week, even among a slew of games that were slim pickings.
I really thought this would be your pick of the week.
No, I'm not entranced by it. I'm kind of interested in checking it out.
Oh, then
But I also don't feel like I'm,
Then the next one is definitely your pick of the week.
it's the next one for sure.
World War II Commander Battle of the Bulge. I know you're into this one.
This is amazing, and it is the 75th anniversary of the, what it's based
The Battle
on.
of the Bulge. They're going to keep doing the 75th anniversary of, like, soon
sure.
there'll be VE Day and VJ Day, and they'll keep doing all these anniversaries.
So there you go. Obviously, as it says here, complexity is quite low. This is basically Yahtzee.
I like how they say complexity low, but it's for their audience, I'm sure.
Yes, yes.
When average time to play is 1 to 3 hours, I might argue that automatically makes the complexity not low.
That's not true. The complexity of Monopoly is low.
No, it's not actually.
Okay, the complexity of Mega Yahtzee is low.
Are you playing Mega Yahtzee for 3 hours?
Yeah, it's about 3 to 6 hours.
Wait, what?
I'm making a game up, but my point is still valid. A game's complexity does not relate to its length. You can play a simple game for 3 hours. It's a bad conversion rate of depth to rate to time.
I'm saying if a game is that long, I doubt it's simple. How about that?
I agree with you.
Okay.
All right, so this is, you already had a pick of the week. I actually thought this was it.
Really?
No, I thought this was it for you. Sanctorum, the board game, 1 through 6 players.
Oh, I'll tell you why this isn't. And go down a little bit. This is a. What does it say?
What is it here? Adventure mode.
Yeah, adventure mode, mission mode.
All right, what is
maybe I'm thinking of it. Oh, this one.
Oh, I see. It is 18 plus. It does say that.
Right, and I don't know that I'm that interested in that. I mean, they're like sex, drugs, gambling, gore, violence, strong language, explicit content, and it's almost. I almost feel like this is a selling point. They're like, kids, stay awake, and they know they won't. It doesn't look like it though from the picture though, right?
It does not. I don't know what. I mean, I'm assuming it's just gory. It's like R-rated. You know.
Sure, that's what they're saying, but the fact that they put that in there, I'm like, oh, okay. I'm not saying these are bad things. Adult games are fine. That's just why it necessarily wouldn't be my pick of the week.
Well, I'm glad it says it rather than have that content and not say it.
Oh, sure.
Know? So, no, that's fine. I like the minis, the way they look. That's neat. I like this sort of rhino-looking character there.
Nashorn.
That one kind of looks like an alien right there underneath the buff guy, and then the winged one is cool.
when I came down, I was really expecting to see different miniatures. Mm-hmm. When they were like, warning, adult content, and then I came down, I was like, oh, this looks quite fun.
Yeah.
I think this would be attractive to teenagers and kids, those miniatures at least.
Yeah, no, it's cool. This might have been my pick of the week, but it sounds like it's the kind of miniature game that is outside my scope. And by that, I mean right here, adventure mode. It's a massive RPG campaign, 15 sessions, minimum of 4 hours per session.
If you're not willing to put 60 hours in the game, I don't know what you do.
That's a lot. That's a little too much for me. I like my miniatures games a little smaller, contained, thinking, claustrophobia 1643. It's an hour play session, unrelated to other play sessions of that game. I can digest that. This is too much for me personally, but it looks well thought out.
Yeah, this isn't even like 13 plus. This is 18 plus.
Yeah, 18 plus.
Yeah, I don't know. I do like that as an overlord. Most of these dungeon crawls nowadays are like, the game will be the overlord. I like being evil.
That's what it is.
Yeah, okay.
All right, and that's the thing. When you play the overlord, it will be cursing constantly. That's what makes it 18 plus.
All right. There's only 3 projects left, man.
I know, I'm scared. Tangletorn.
I love the art in this one.
Twin entanglements. A new game from Super Nothing. Wait, what? Maybe
it's not even capitalized. That's the name of the company, right?
It is, but they should capitalize it.
You really should if you're
A new game from nothing. We came up with every part of this. It came from nothing. That's kind of how that reads.
That could be right.
No, I'm sure.
It's a deck building game.
So it's a deck building game, a rogue-like deck building game. It looks cool. Like you said, the artwork is neat. I like the what they're showing here. And this is my pick of the week. Because I like the concept. I like the look of it. I'm kind of over deck building games, but this one looks neat. It looks like it has a uniform look to everything.
Well, the card design looks clean.
Yeah, it's
so I'll
neat.
Give them that.
It's it feels personal to whoever made it. I think that's it. That's an intangible thing I'm describing, but it looks like whoever made this, it's their passion project. It has that feeling to it.
The only thing I'm a little concerned about is it's like explore a hex-based map.
Yeah. And that's okay. That's not bad. I like that. It goes a little above and beyond. Hey, it's a deck building game. We reskinned Dominion or whatever.
Do you want Vanishing Powder, The Cat's Third Eye, Clive, or a pretty teacup?
I like Clive, and I like the cat's third eye. That's
Oh,
pretty
wait, it's
good.
pronounced cleave. But bandits asleep with their swords aren't known for spelling.
You know what this reminds me of a little bit is Merchants of Venus. Dale of Merchants.
Oh, okay. I was like, what?
Dale of Merchants of Venus.
That's the kind of artwork I might put on my wall.
Yeah, that's cool.
I really like that background, and I like this design here.
Yeah. Yeah, the whole thing reminds me, especially this, of Root, of course.
Yeah, I was just saying, it gives us some Root vibes to it. Yeah, is this their first Kickstarter?
I believe, yes, that's right. Which was a little bit of an apprehension for me, first
Sure.
created.
Well, I mean,
But, like I
everyone
said,
gotta start somewhere.
I'm just picking something that looks good to me. This looks good to me. So, there you go. That's my pick of the week. Next up, Deep 6 D6 Armada, which is a worker placement co-op board game. This is a bigger sibling to the original Deep Space D6. A small, dice-driven, I believe solitaire-only game. This looks cool.
this is 2 solo games?
This is not. The original one this was based on.
Oh, is it that little one we have?
Yeah, Deep Space D6 is a small little card game.
I did not
or dice
like
game.
how that one looked.
Yeah, but this
looks cooler
like it
than that.
has, like they now have a little more
Color.
money.
Got it. Well, that
Which I
first
guess
one,
they're kickstarting, so they don't have it yet. But you
well,
know
that
what
first, oh, you're right. That's Tile Leader Games. Their first one is pretty popular.
I mean. It is
I mean,
very popular. It is very popular, yeah. So it's a good design. It's one that's caught on. This looks good. I don't know too much
I'm
about
surprised you
it.
didn't put this as your pick of the week then.
It feels machine made a little bit. Like I've seen this kind of project.
Just as a heads up, they're all machine made.
I know, but you know what I mean. The other one feels personal.
Okay.
It feels small. It feels unique.
Sterile is the word.
Maybe a little sterile. Maybe. Anyway,
You're right, though. I think this might be one I like.
it looks cool.
The
I've seen a
concept
lot of
sounds
these
good.
sci-fi games with the mostly white motif. That's a lot. That's happening a lot now.
Well, it's better than all black, and I can't read any of the
I
cards.
agree with that. Like that one, that design, they really need to fix that at the bottom there. It's just not a good design. The question mark I like, that stands out, but the rest of it, not so much.
right.
Anyway, so there you go. How is this doing? I'm curious.
It's doing really well.
Yeah, that's doing really well.
I put these in order of how well the project's doing. So the last
This
one
is
is
doing extremely well. That's insanely well. Go Dice! Incredibly smart.
Dice!
They're incredibly smart. Connected dice for any game.
that is interesting. It seems like one of these projects is popping up on Kickstarter every couple months.
Yes.
Some sort of
More
electronic
frequently
device.
than that, it seems. So this is doing extremely well, and I
like dice, and I did not pick this one for a couple reasons.
Okay.
I mean, I like the dice.
yeah.
They keep pushing these apps, which I don't care about, right? Roll the dice, tap your decision. It looks like you have to roll it and then tap it on the thing.
No, I think you programmed them on there, because I see down here, I saw an image where this guy rolled, and then bloop, immediately it shows up on the screen what he rolled.
That is cool.
Right?
I wonder how that works. Is it like...
I don't know why you need to tap it on the thing. I don't know what that means.
They're calling it the Kindle of board games, which is a really not correct analogy because it's just adding one device.
Well, they have a bunch of games. Look at all the games they have, okay? Check
This is the
out.
other reason I didn't pick it.
Look,
Well,
check
hang
it.
on. Before you go to the games,
No, this is actually extremely cool.
this is like amazingly neat.
That is really
I'm trying to
neat.
figure out how they did this.
A D20 or D24 shell. You put the smart die in it and bloop.
So then they'll
Close it
know
up.
if you're slightly rotated this way, it's a 16.
That's nuts.
that is really cool.
really cool.
How much you want to bet they don't look that good in person, though?
Yeah,
You're going to
I
see
am
the
worried
lines.
about that. These are renderings. But then down here they have, look, check this out. Ludo, which is Irish dice. The very well-known 1-4-24. Farkle, Dice Poker, and the ever-popular Yahtzee? Yahtzee. Huh. Yeah, okay, cool. So that is it for all the projects we're looking at this week.
That is neat.
Like I
thought
said,
about
there's not a lot of stuff.
How much is this one in the back anyway? Oh, it's so expensive.
It is expensive, yeah.
$59 for 5 dice. I don't care about the games. But see, if it doesn't work with, it only works with those games, that's a big negative for me. I don't
The problem, honestly, of anything that is from a company I don't personally know and has an app, they stop supporting that app, which is not uncommon. These things happen. Ask people who've backed, for example, smart suitcases, things like that, and the apps will stop working.
Shut up, man! You're never letting me go.
You're done. Like, it
suitcase
doesn't
still
work.
works.
I guess
The suitcase still works.
I guess at that point, these are still dice. The most expensive dice you ever got. You know what I mean? It still works.
It's not that. That's not my thing. I'm always more cautious with tech on Kickstarter because while my board game is very, very positive, some few negatives, my tech is more negative than positive, actually.
I agree. It's a shot in the dark sometimes.
My assumption is tech is neat. It's cool. I'll see every once in a while it pops up on Facebook and I'll see something. I'm like, ooh, that's a cool thing. I'll see it's on Indiegogo or Kickstarter. I'm like, I'll wait till it funds. And then if it's good, it will still be sold.
Yeah.
And I'll buy it then. I don't do that for board games. And if you want to help support these guys, of course, do that. But on a personal level, I want the tech to go well.
Yeah, I agree. So there you go. That's what we're looking at, a small selection, but diverse selection. Some neat stuff in there. Yeah.
Let's jump to our contributors.
Do it.
Hey folks, welcome back to our Dice Tower preview recap. I'm Mark, and I hope your 2020 has started off fantastic. Today we only have a couple games to take a look at, so let's jump in. Our first game is Reign of Nations. In Reign of Nations, you command vast armies. You have warlords and guardians that will help you along the way trying to hold on to your lands. Also, trying to conquer the lands of others. You win the game by eliminating one player's guardian, or if you wipe out their last city, or you destroy all their warlords. So, Reign of Nations is one of those big dudes on a map game where you're commanding legions of heroes, you have warlords, and you have a guardian. And your hope is to rule over all the other nations. All kinds of different creatures here that you command and use, and some clever battle dice mechanics. Now, this game was on Kickstarter, but it's going to be re-released on Kickstarter here in 2020, so keep an eye out for this one. And next, let's take a look at Dungeon Party. In Dungeon Party, you and your fellow heroes have just sat down for what you thought would be a nice, quiet evening in the tavern. However, chaos ensues, and you are soon beckoned back to the dungeon. So, Dungeon Party is played with quarters and coasters. What's that sound like? Yeah, it's the game of quarters. But this is a thematic version. You really feel like you're moving through a dungeon in this game, trying to flick your quarters to defeat the monsters. And if you don't hit the monster, then they're going to hit you. It's really a simple game. A lot of fun. All the different rooms you encounter can change up how everybody is playing. You might have to stand on one leg. You might have to look through a glass, things like that as you attack these creatures, trying to gain loot and enhance your hero in order to level them up so they're more effective for the boss at the end. And lastly, we have Flap Flap Duck. In Flap Flap Duck, your main objective is to help Ducky. Ducky is lost, hopelessly lost in the world, and there are all kinds of obstacles that you must help him avoid. You will be working together in order to guide him and pilot him to safety and home. So, like I said, the main objective here is to get Ducky home. You have to save him, and you have to work cooperatively together to do so. You have a limited number of actions, and you have to help him avoid obstacles as you try to get him home. So the thing, though, is that you have to give clues to your teammates in order to get around certain things. And these clues evolve into like charades, what you think you'd expect. So it's very much a party, family-friendly game, and it's one to check out. So my pick of the week. You know, typically, Reign of Nations would have probably sealed the deal on this one, but we played Dungeon Party on New Year's Eve with a full group. We had the full player count, and Man, everybody just had a ton of fun. And I'm not typically a party game guy, but this definitely has that D&D-esque flavor to it as you level up your characters and make them better with all the different loot you can find and trying to survive. And it's got that dexterity element, and you really do feel like you're moving through this dungeon on your way to the boss, which we were defeated several times. But all the things you have to do in the rooms and the curses and traps you have to deal with definitely adds to the flavor of the game. They've done a really good job with tacking on this thematic nature to the game of quarters. All right, folks, if any of these games look like they might be of interest to you, please check out our full previews. And if you want your game featured as a Dice Tower preview, please shoot me an email. All right, folks, until next time, we'll see you at the table.
Hey folks, and welcome to FOMO, first one of 2020. This is a segment where I take a look at a game that's seeking crowdfunding now. Maybe I have a fear of missing out on it. Maybe you do too, and let's take a look together and decide, is this something we need to back? Or should we wait for retail? Or is this game just not that interesting? Who knows? Today we're going to take a look at Warp's Edge. Now instead of going to the table and going over all the rules, I'm just going to talk about the game. Now, this isn't one that I requested. Normally for FOMO segments, I find games that are already interesting to me and I ask. This one they sent me because they thought I might be interested in it. First off, they knew I love solo games, which I do. I love space themes, but also I'm a sucker for bag builders. And this is a puzzle that has a bag builder in it. Now, from the beginning of this, when I first pulled it out, I actually felt a little intimidated by this one. The rule book was wordy. It had a lot going on, and I actually put it away. Then I pulled it back out and I realized, wait a second, this isn't full of rules. It's full of explaining to me what each thing means. Once I actually got into the rules, I realized this is rather simple. I bring out some enemies, I pull some tokens from a bag, I make my decisions for the puzzle, then I set up for the next round. And at that point, it all clicked. And I was like, wow, I really love the simplicity of this. But what I loved is that the puzzle decision-making started during setup. So in the game, there are several ships I can choose from to be my starting ship. And they each have their own loadouts with their own unique tokens, their own stats. But also each of the motherships have their own unique stats. And some of them are just all-out assaults. And some of them I have to make unique decisions and using energy and maneuvers. And one of them turns into a robot. And I just loved how those decisions made that particular play session unique. And I loved the way the enemies come out, and I made decisions throughout each round about, well, maybe I'll stun this one. Maybe I'll take this one out because I really love the reward. Or wait, I really love the reward for evading this enemy more than just assaulting it. So I had to make these interesting decisions each round that led into how I'm going to fill that bag with more tokens so I can keep that current session going before the warp moves. So overall, I am in love with this game. I absolutely want to keep playing this one over and over again. This is a must back for me. My copy that they provided to me didn't have the nice token storage and all that. I have seen pictures. It's phenomenal. I absolutely am already in love with it. So this is a must back for me. If you love solo gaming, this is probably one that's already on your radar. If you like space themes and maybe want to try a solo game, this is something to take a look at. If you're not into solo gaming, obviously this isn't much of a FOMO for you, but if you are, go ahead and check out their Kickstarter page. I hope that you've enjoyed my thoughts, at least on Warp's Edge. I know we didn't go into all the rules, but either way, I hope it's helped you at least get some idea whether or not it's something you want to take a look at, and I look forward to seeing you folks next episode.
Sister Meeple here, bringing you my 5 most anticipated games launching on Kickstarter in mid-January. January 13th, Beyond the Monolith Core System, Conan Universe, yeah, it's a mouthful, will be brought to us from Monolith Board Games, which has had wildly successful Kickstarters in the past, including Conan, Batman, and Mythic Battles Pantheon. It appears that this project is a new versus battle system which you can use to pit one Conan faction versus another, or even Conan versus Batman. Sounds cool, right? But backers of the previous Conan campaign are realizing that they already have 80% of the content here, and they don't want to be forced to purchase duplicate miniatures. Monolith has said that they will offer a paper-only option in the Pledge Manager, so everything but the plastic, but it's only slightly cheaper. For this one, I'm going to pop some popcorn, sit back, and watch the backers and Monolith duke it out. Also launching January 13th is School of Sorcery by Dr. Finn's Games. It is a reworking of his earlier game, The Institute for Magical Arts. This 2-player dice and area control game has you battling to become the new headmaster of a wizarding school. Improvements in this version include new graphic design, unique card powers, and improved components. January 14th. The second cool remake this week is Return to Dark Tower, which is a reimagining of Dark Tower from 1981. Restoration Games is awfully good at bringing these classic games back to life. Return to Dark Tower will be a cooperative game where players work together to build up their strength so they can face the Dark Tower, which will have a technological component. Foundations of Rome will be the first Kickstarter from Arcane Wonders, the makers of Mage Wars. This epic city-building game will have over 90 detailed miniatures, and it will be the next in the Dice Tower Essentials line of games. They are offering a free first-player miniature if you sign up at foundationsofrome.com before the Kickstarter launches. Another significant game launching January 14th is Oath: Chronicles of Empire and Exile, designed by Cole Worley, the designer of Root. You will notice some similarities in art between the two games. I think they also share asymmetrical factions, but there the similarities end. This game is a legacy game about writing history, but there is no pre-scripted campaign. Each game played affects future games. Cole has called it his most strategic game ever, so it'll be interesting to see how heavy this game is. That's it for today. If I missed your favorite upcoming Kickstarter, please post in the comments below.
Word is curve, but not curb. I'm kicking you to the Kickstarter curb. So we're kind of sitting here not twiddling our thumbs, but we're watching our Kickstarter as it gets closer to funding. We're 5,000 away.
Are we doing this for the rest of Crowdsurfing?
No. That's not what I'm talking
I
about.
thought you said the next segment is us sitting here. No, you got to talk about something, Tom. What kind of entertainment is this?
No. But I don't know. If you've never run a Kickstarter, I cannot tell you the amount of stress that's involved pre-pressing the button. Like, I just talked to somebody who's running one of the mega Kickstarters that was just talked about in the last segment.
Yes.
And they're like nervous about their thing. And I'm thinking, how could you possibly be nervous? You're going to do fine. But that's just how it works, right? But what's interesting is Kickstarter projects have this extreme curve.
They do.
It starts really high. Most Kickstarter projects, half their funding comes on day one.
Right.
But you don't want to run a 2-day Kickstarter, although some people have run a 5-day Kickstarter. I've seen that before.
Yeah, well, we can talk about the merits of that in a moment. Go ahead, finish your explanation.
And then it goes down dramatically. You'll see it go down. Like you can look at KickTrack or BackerKit. They have these graphs, and you just watch them go down. And then there's sometimes a bump in the middle if they add something big or new.
But usually not.
And then it goes up. A lot of people click remind me, and 48 hours before it's over, a lot of reminders go out. Although at the same time, and this is something you don't see in the front end, tons of people drop out in those last 48 hours. Yes. People say, they back something and they're not really sure if they want to back it or not, but since Kickstarter doesn't take money, they can just go change my mind at the last minute.
Yes.
So there's a lot of shuffling, and I think the last couple of days can be extremely stressful as you watch that shuffling happen. Mm-hmm. This person did a $300 pledge. They're like, nah, great. And so there's that. It's just an interesting thing. We definitely see it, and there's arguments over how long a Kickstarter should be.
Right. So the shortest is about 5 days that I've seen anyway. What do you think about that? I mean, that does truncate that center, but
5 days is so stressful.
I mean, the good part of it is, yes, it's a concentrated push towards whatever the funding goal is. You got 5 days. If you want it, you got that gut reaction that you don't have a month to think about it. Bam, back it. And it's an energetic campaign, right? It does not languish. But it's a 5-day window. People are much more likely to miss your Kickstarter.
That's the main thing, right? We run our Kickstarter. This time we're running a little bit longer just due to different logistical reasons. Last year I ran it around 3 weeks, a little over 3 weeks. And I was happy with that length.
Yeah.
Because you can't get your money till the Kickstarter ends.
Yes.
You don't get money till like a month after the Kickstarter ends. So you want to end it to get that money. But the running that shorter one, we'll run it for, let's say, a month. 2 months later, someone emails me and goes, oh, I missed your Kickstarter.
Right,
I'm like,
right.
how, you know? But it's possible to miss it. And if it's short, it can be there and gone.
Sure.
I might be off the internet for a few days and the Kickstarter's gone. And that's the main thing.
That is, yeah. And so 2 weeks, yes, that's solid. It's a little longer. It gives people a chance to find it. Gives you a chance to talk about it publicly. Maybe sync up your schedule with somebody else who might talk about it, right? Or test your product, whatever that may be. And the languishing in the middle won't be as bad. You go longer than that, then you can definitely get the word out. You know, do a full month, you can talk about it, you can get the word out. But that middle third, let's say, is kind of grueling. You know, there is that.
Because it looks like it doesn't move
Yeah,
at all.
It feels like you're done in some ways. You know, one day you might go down a little bit, and then that day is a little, you know, it doesn't feel good. So it is rough. You know, that very elastic center to a campaign that's run for that many days can feel like you are making progress.
So anyway, I thought we'd show you a little bit about our feelings, you know, as we watch the Kickstarter behind the scenes and stuff. And talking to other Kickstarter crowdfunding people, it definitely is across the board. I've yet to meet someone who's like, we got this.
Yeah. But it is like anything. Once you see a final product for whatever you're looking at, so much work has gone into it behind the scenes. That prep work that goes into something when they press that button and it goes live is monumental, right? Like many things, you know. But yeah, that final look at the page doesn't really do it justice. You know, somebody mentioned somewhere on, I don't know, somewhere on social media that they said, oh, Z hasn't done a review in a couple of weeks. What's going on? Is he not doing reviews anymore? It's like, I am, and you'll see some this week. But just like everybody else at the office, a lot of time and effort has gone into prepping the Kickstarter. You know, that takes a lot of time. Minute fixing of issues and compiling and all of these things that happen. So thankfully, everybody is enjoying the product as of now, and it seems like you're all happy with what's going on that front and what we do. And we truly appreciate that. So thank you very much.
That's it for another Crowdsurfing. We'll be back in 2 hours, 2 hours and 23 minutes exactly at 2 o'clock today, Eastern Standard Time.
What's happening?
The top 100 of all time,
What?
number 80 through 71.
Ooh, that's some good games.
The voice of the people is back. Maybe. We'll see you then. Until then, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia.
Have fun gaming.
Thanks so much for watching another Dice Tower video. If you enjoy our videos, subscribe to the channel for more fun, comprehensive board game coverage. Also, consider joining us at one of our events. Come to Dice Tower Retreat, a small, intimate gathering where gaming is king. Join us for Dice Tower Cruise, the largest board game cruise. Attend Dice Tower West in Las Vegas for gaming fun on the West Coast, or Dice Tower East in Orlando in sunny Florida. Dice Tower Conventions, the friendliest gaming conventions on Earth. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.